It's showtime. Indeed, indeed. Are we live? Let me see. Quickly checking, check, and indeed, we are live. Indeed. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our a very special, I would say, rock star. I'm calling him. He's Hamid, and he will join in our episode number 2 in the diary of the MCT and MVP. Uh, Long story short, I would say he's a big superstar. Before he start talking, I want to give a big kudos for him. Basically, he's MCT, he's MVP, but what is very important, Hamid is also a Microsoft Learn expert, which I really appreciate. And basically, he created, I must be honest, something really interesting, which is called community, but really huge community, guys. For those who are part of that community or who are not part of it, it's called, if I remember good, From Zero to Hero. And basically, if you guys want to learn something, it's really, I would highly recommend to join this community and basically grow the knowledge. And again, welcome, Hamid, mate. Good evening.
Good evening, Martin. Thank you for having me. That's
Indeed.
exciting. I'm really thrilled to be here that we can talk
Nice.
for the amount of the time we have in the upcoming hour. I don't know like how long we are going to talk,
Yeah,
but
one
I'm
hour. I think
excited.
we will fit in 1 hour, if I may be
Okay.
honest. Indeed,
Sounds great.
indeed. Nice. How is going?
It's
Tuesday
going
night, if I
well.
may say.
Sorry.
A Tuesday night, how is going for you?
It's going well. Was at the office and now at home. It's going well. It was a bit traffic on the highway here in the
Yeah,
Netherlands. It's
yeah,
become,
yeah, yeah.
but it's good. Yeah, I still have energy to do this great podcast together with you. We can
The,
talk and share, and yeah, then maybe I will play some game or watch some movie. Then time to
which
go.
game you are playing now? You give me a next question. I must ask.
I play sometimes PlayStation games.
Okay,
I just recently installed Last of Us, and I'm a
okay,
big fan of God of War. That I love that game. And for PC games also, I played World of Warcraft for many years. Sometimes I'm also
okay,
playing. But yeah, I love games. It's good.
okay,
The
okay.
story based ones and online ones, just connecting people.
Nice. Okay. I just asked this question because last week, to be honest with you, because not the Sony, it still have some dust on it. I didn't play it, I think, the last 8 months because of time. But last week, I installed Age of Empires. It really reminds me of the childhood, if I may say like that, where you built everything from really long time ago. And now let's build the city and then the war and everything, how you build, food, trees, gold, and all that stuff, which is, I must be honest, quite interesting in the whole story. But it's really nice to hear that you have still time and energy to play a game. I must be honest with you.
Thank you, thank you. No, it's just clearing the mind and just going into the virtual world of games, and it also tries. It's kind of a meditation, but also helps to focus, increase the focus. I don't know. I look from that perspective, but yeah.
In-
But I also really love games.
Indeed, which triggers me the next question. May I ask what was your first game ever played?
First game on PC,
First game.
Max Payne.
Max Payne. Wow, that is
I still
nice.
remember.
Max Payne.
Do you
Max
play?
Payne. Max Payne 2, it was, if I remember good, the cover, or I'm wrong? Or there was a Max Payne version 1?
It
I
was the
remember
very
Max Payne
first
2.
version. There is also a version 3. I played all of them. The version 3
Wow.
it's just released maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I don't exactly remember, or maybe
Okay.
longer than that. But I remember the reason why I bought PC. I mean, I was so child. I wasn't able to buy, but I was pushing my dad and family buy me a PC. I have to play that game because I saw it in a relative house, as far as I remember, and that was the reason I got a PC. Max Payne started, and my whole IT journey started with that. Like
Wow.
started
Wow.
with the Windows and
Nice.
Microsoft technology, learning programming, and it's still it still continues.
Do you remember your first PC configuration? I must ask you now.
Pentium 5 CPU.
Pentium 5, okay. Intel CPU, I suppose, or AMD?
Intel CPU, yeah.
Intel CPU.
And
Wow.
Windows, I remember I had the Windows 98 and then XP.
Okay.
I was
Yeah,
playing the
XP.
game on XP. Yeah, I was playing the game on XP, and it had many errors I was getting like while installing some of the games, and but yeah, it's exciting to remember. It's still sometimes when in the social I see sometimes on X or Instagram that you remember that default green background for Windows
Yeah.
XP, and they
In
sometimes I see posts that if you see this, then
okay.
you are old. Then I feel really old
The
because
field, basic. When you see the field, that's it.
exactly, and we played games on that field. I mean, on Windows XP, we installed
Indeed.
applications, learned everything, and it's just another world.
Indeed. It's really a long time ago when we think about how much the technology has changed, if I may say like that. And to connect the dots for me, biggest, but I think it was really biggest in the beginning, the drivers. When I need to install the drivers, there was always some crash. There was some issue
Oh my God.
immediately.
Yeah.
Also for younger generation, I must mention that in the past, for example, for those, I suppose a lot of are remembering, but for those who don't remember and didn't experience, it was not just install the Windows and you have a network card, you have Wi-Fi. It was not simple as that. You need to figure it out what was the vendor, what was the ID of your Wi-Fi, and then you can put the cable and get the latest updates of the drivers, if I may say like that, which was really tricky for me in the first 2-3 years till I figured it out, which driver is for what and when need to be installed. Did you struggle with that, if I may ask like that?
Absolutely, I remember it was like pain to find the right driver and install, find the right version, and it was always that I don't know why, but I always had the hardware that I wasn't able to find driver for that. And whenever I was going to find that the hardware that they listed the driver version, and I was coming back like after some time, like several months or a year, and I was seeing the driver is not there. Then again, another versions. So why my hardware is not listed in there that I can find the correct driver for that? It was always pain, and but now it's you don't even realize like when it just
Indeed.
automatically finds and installs in backend and it's all ready, and you can just say, okay, restart or not. I don't want to restart.
Indeed, I must share one. Basically, in my starting period, it was some type of a voluntary in one IT company, basically back in my country, which they were preparing the computers, Intel, AMD. They were selling, and basically there was a customers coming and saying, "Yeah, we want to install Windows." And I know in that period was you need to pay upfront for the license for Windows HP or Windows Vista. Yeah, Windows Vista was after HP. So I remember if you want to do that, basically, you need to pay upfront. And as an award, I didn't get any money for this voluntary, but as an award from the people, I get something like 300 PC drivers for all the main boards, all the graphical cards, all this version, because they have this and they were just throwing away. Basically, you order 100 graphical cards, the same brand, the same model, you have 100 different CDs in that period. So I remember that I got 300 CDs with all the drivers. But again, that's why I was laughing a lot. Whenever I put the CD in the CD-ROM in that period, my driver was not there. This is not possible. How is this possible that my driver is not there? It's not listed. Wow, but it's really nice experience. Really experience from the past and struggle a little bit. But if I may connect the dots, basically Max Payne is the first game which I really relate to that story. I was playing that one. Mostly FIFA in my FIFA and NBA. I'm more on the sports game and joystick and la la la. But Max Payne, I tried a couple of times and I was playing. So if I may ask, how is starting or what was the starting point for you, except the games, for example, to start to learn, I don't know, Word, Excel, because in that period also it was a one CD with the Office package, Windows 97. Then it was Windows 2003, if I remember like that, or something like that, which was really also quite. What was your starting point for learning, let's say, or going deep in the IT roadmap, let's call it like that, IT path, career path in your side?
I was always technical, like since
Okay.
childhood. My highest points in school, in middle school, in high school, and it was always like, it was great with technical
Okay.
stuff, like
Okay.
connecting something physical to each other, or I don't know. And then I got the computer and I fell in love with the technical stuff in there. And like I quickly started like self-learning, like about like office apps after some while, like as you said, like Word, Excel stuff. I mean, not professionally, but I was able to handle
You
my
did.
stuff and type something for family, for relative, for friends, or everyone just asking, hey, this is the guy. If you have like IT question, just call. So like
Indeed.
in family, there is always someone you call. Hey, my phone is not working. I mean, man, I'm not phone specialist. I don't know.
Indeed. But in that period, maybe it's good to mention, yeah, everything that we are saying for those who basically were not born or don't remember. If you have problem with the radio, if you have problem with the television, if you have problem with the phone, that was one guy. It's called IT guy. He knows
Exactly.
everything about technologies.
In
Indeed.
the family,
Indeed.
everyone and the relatives, I mean, everyone just calls you or texts.
Indeed.
Hey, it is not working. I don't know, man, just restart. Oh, okay, it's
Yeah.
working. Okay. And then you are the hero.
Indeed. How Hamid is starting, if I may ask, with the learning in these technologies?
Yeah,
Did you start as a developer? For
yeah.
example, for me was a starting point IT support, I must be honest. Reinstalling the Windows, making configurations, let's call it like that. That was my starting point in my high school. So what was for you, if I may ask? For example, in high school, I was learning Pascal, but I was, as you said, I was really technical. I want to jump here, jump there, not just sit on the computer and do this stuff. Let's call it like that. So what was your starting point?
Yeah, to be honest, I had some time like of sitting behind computer and doing nothing. It was just gaming and just surfing around the internet, like Yahoo Messenger on that time. It was interesting because internet, you connect with people in the first days of internet. But by the time I met with some friends that we started playing online games, and I
Yeah.
really, by the time I got really interested, like what's behind this online game, because with coming also
Okay.
background of loving the technical stuff and then falling in love with Windows services, I was digging in, like monitoring my CPU performance, how many like RAMs I have, how they work. Oh my god, it's going to 99%. I need to close down, like, and I don't know, like task manager stuff like that. And then I was so curious, like what's running behind these online games, and then I learned about something like called server. Okay, what's server?
Okay.
Let's investigate. There is research. I find, okay, server is running on something called Windows Server, and there is also Linux server. And then I
Indeed.
realized at some point I got really interested. I mean, there was like energy that I was like gonna explode. I need to learn now about all of them. And then
Okay.
I started like digging in over the internet, learning and studying, and then I started on that time. I mean, even now, I'm not sure it's possible like that. We can set up your private World of Warcraft server. It's possible. You just get
Yeah.
the database. You have the core, which is written on C++. If I'm not wrong, and
Yeah.
on that time it was like that. Like I even
Yeah.
remember the cores. It's called ArcEmu and Manigos, if I'm not wrong. And then
Indeed.
I started learning C++. So it all started with programming, not professionally. I wasn't, like, to be honest, I wasn't that much professional, like
Yeah.
writing a feature or writing a function, like appending it like to the core of the, but I was able to learn database, MySQL, like Microsoft SQL Server, then
Yeah.
okay, different kind of applications. You can call table. There are queries. You can query a table. You can Then I learned the connections between the core and database. Then I got many errors, researching, solving them, again researching errors, bugs, fixing bugs. I was able to fix some of the bugs. I was so, hey, like bugs are fixed in the server. And then back then, I remember like we bought a good internet, and we were able like to host like around 200 to 250 online players on that server, and the server was running in my home. And that was the starting point. Then I got really interested in the system administration, system engineering, and then I signed up for a course. We are still friends. My best friend, Masoud, I'm not sure if maybe he's watching, because I also shared on Instagram. And he was my teacher, and he taught me a lot about networking. Then it was like my love for system engineering for Windows was here, and I had no idea about network. So what's happening behind system? What connects those dots together? Because I knew some definitions like port forwarding, IP, but it was blurry. I mean, I needed to get it clear. And then I learned much about networking from Masoud, and then like for Cisco technologies. And then again, I started continuing the career and learning path with Microsoft. On that time, I remember like around 2012, 2013, like the early days of Azure. I was doing Windows server support and IT stuff for clients of a consultancy company. And then back then, before that, I was working with an internet service provider. I was installing ADSL modems in the houses on the city I board. And I guess like for the half of the houses in that city, I installed internet. It was just... They were paying like house per house installation price, and I was going installing modem, setting the making the PPOE connection. Okay, internet is up. Bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy the internet. And I started then working as a consultant, supporting Windows Server clients and learning more about IIS applications. And then I was always on flow, like Microsoft and then Azure. Oh, okay, now cloud. The cloud is getting bigger. Let's realize what's happening with cloud. And then all the journey started and continues.
Nice. So your start, if I may ask, or may I, how to say, formulate like a C++ was the starting point, if I may call it like that?
Yeah,
is that
exactly? Programming.
Yeah. Do you have created any application in C++, maybe, mate?
No. That
or just exploring, let's say, these libraries, how debugging the tools and the view, if I may call it like that.
Indeed, yeah, exactly. It was just exploring. There was the source code. I didn't write anything. There was the source code, so I just wanted to learn what is this programming language, how it works, and how can I like fix some of the. So that was the starting point that I started like falling really in love with technology. Like I started to learning more, because there is still it's the case, I guess, for all of us in this industry. It's really not possible to say it's done. I know everything. Let's just sit and on that time, I remember I was just pursuing to learn more what's happening, who created that, like what kind of stuff can you do with that. But I was just like a child that just walking and trying to stand. And as much as I'm moving forward. For instance, it was C++. Then I realized, there is the operating system engineering. Then I was putting it aside and I started learning more about it.
Indeed.
And so on. And all those dots connected to each other. But I'm really lucky that I had the chance to coming from on-prem stuff, like from end users, from installing ADSL modems, knowing the connectivity, and that even helps me a lot nowadays with networking stuff, routing, switching, and all the fundamentals. And that's why in most of the sessions, like with communities in Microsoft Learn and any sessions that we are hosting, I always like try to share fundamentals are most important things. Like
indeed.
Just
I completely agree, and I can reflect that, because now at my current job, if I may say it like that, basically we have new people, 23, 24 years old, let's call it like that, or more older than 22, let's call it like that. When you say hybrid model, for them it's really, what? hybrid? What is that? Then you will say on-prem, and they're confused. But how do you mean on-prem? We're talking about every time we have cloud, we have Azure, we have this, we have that. Yeah, but there is something called the data center. You have computers a lot and blah, blah, blah. So it's really, I agree completely on this, that the foundation, it's really, really important in this case. And it's really tough to explain even, because what I noticed also, because couple of, I think it was 3 weeks ago exactly, we were walking in the office and I found that one office unlocked, and I asked the security there, can you open please? So I show it to them, the server, it was Dell, some old server that need to be refurbished or something. So I said, this is on-prem version basically of our Azure cloud. Let's call it, this is on-prem, that is Azure cloud. But completely agree indeed on this foundation, which now it's really tough to explain, I must be honest, because for them, it's, how do you mean in a room? How do you mean data center? How do you mean this? But we need to connect that to the internet. And, you know, it's really weird questions for us as, let's say, 20 years ago that we were trying to do this and that, if I may call it like that. Indeed, indeed. When you started learning and you said your friend was teaching you and so on and so on, I must ask you one question because it triggers me. My next struggle for me in the IT industry, I mean, we all have some weaknesses. I was always good mathematician and all that stuff. And now, because you mentioned the network, for me was really, I think we are on the internet, we are not on television, so I can say it was really pain in the ass for me when somebody says, yeah, Martin, we need to separate the subnet now. Can you please now try binary and then to see what is that, 192, 168, and we need this type of addresses and so on. Is that was your struggle also or not?
It's still today. It's still happening. It's
but
something.
It have internet. I must correct you. It have internet, so if you type it on Google, it's really popping up from everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I really get used for that it's still happening. Like 192.168.1.1. It's something that I guess I'm never going to forget. This default IP with default gateway of it with the 1.1, and yeah, it's always with us. Or maybe like the whole TCP IP maybe change, the structure change and IP change, and then we need to learn it again.
Yeah, this struggle I remember even in the 15 years ago, if I may be honest, I started learning also when I was starting with Windows servers and so on. Also, I'm certified about Cisco, CCNA in that period, Cisco, CCNA routing and something. I remember that if you once learn that, and get in your head this, how it's calculated, these numbers, you never forget. Even there is the engineer, something like at my workplace, 60 years old, when we discuss about these subnets, gateway, DNSs, Martin, easy, give me pencil and paper. You will see, they will start typing, you know, it's really for them here memorized, if I may say like that, which is really nice to see sometimes instead of Googling, you know, what should be my IP address, how many IP addresses, this and that. Basically, now it's very easy. Let's be honest, now if you go to Azure and create a subnet, automatically suggests to you, this is the IP pool that you need to use, this is the IP gateway, and so on, and so on. Nice, nice, nice. What was your first Windows server that you configured? Because you said you work as for Windows customer, that's why I relate the story, if I may say. What was your first Windows server?
2008. But
okay.
But I worked with some clients, but clients that they had 2003. But I never configured or like provisioned a 2003 Windows server. But I worked with some of the servers, and I had I was part of a migration team that they were migrating from 2003 to 2008. That was catastrophe, that in the environment. But I witnessed that. And then 2012.
Yeah.
Migration to 2012 was it's not direct from 2003 to to
indeed.
You need to step by step plan step by step and migrating piece by piece, and then but I could say officially it's 2008. the
8.
first
Okay.
Windows
Okay.
Server.
I catch the struggle. Basically, you were doing a maintenance for Windows Server 2003. I migrated my first migration. There was in the past one small server, which was for small businesses. It was sold by Microsoft. And basically, they sell it that like with licensed Windows Server for small businesses, something like that. So the company wanted to migrate from 2003 to 2008. I never seen a bigger struggle in my life in the technology side. Okay, Exchange, it's a different version. We will come to that later, maybe. But Exchange is a big struggle for me from the past, I must be honest. But this was really no PowerShell script. By the way, there was no click, click, click. Everything was a PowerShell. You need to have 5 scripts from Microsoft. And what was the weird in that period, if you don't have a premium support from Microsoft and you get stuck on the migration, the only way to get out of it is to call Microsoft support. That was the only way. I mean, calling from the phone, and you depends where you are located, you need to pay additional charges because you're calling Microsoft, another country, and so on and so on. So it was a biggest struggle for migration, and I agree completely for the next version. After 2008, I think is the stabilization where the foundation is really quite perfect, where they basically go 2008, 2012, 16, 19, and now 22, and now 25, I think, is the latest version. But it's really a big struggle on that. And how do you like Windows 2008 or 2012 more, if I may say? Because both of them have R2 version, release 2, which was the stable, let's call it like that. Do you prefer 2008 or 2012, if I ask you now?
I worked mainly with 2012, and I was so comfortable with it, so I would choose 2012.
Indeed.
But it's nowadays, it's like hardly you're touching Windows Server.
Indeed. Basically, mostly it's on the virtual machines, everything pre-installed. You just need to, I don't know, a couple of clicks and you're done.
Exactly.
Nice.
Extensions, applications, you even don't log in, so you just attach. It's like module. So then
Indeed. That's true. I stopped you at 2012, 2013. Then you start with Azure. Tell me what is happening next to the Hamid and how Hamid is continuing, if I may say, learn. What is the next point of learning for you, if I may ask you, mate? After Windows Server, let's call it like that.
I started realizing by continuation of the learning, I started realizing like there are certifications that I can get certified and could help me to boost my knowledge and career that I can have in my CV. And once if I want to like move somewhere or apply to the companies that I would really love to work with, or well, not just the brand, but the environment, like having the possibility of working with those projects and technologies. However, after that, I was continuing just reading the PDFs, sometimes like printing like some of the pages by myself at home, and then reading out the book, taking notes, going to the library. I remember like almost for a year, I was going to the library from like 8:30 in the morning till evening, just studying. And I had my breakfast, lunch, and dinner also in the library. And it was like also you get separated a little bit like from friends, families, but it was all like I really like focused at work, at learning more to. It wasn't about like I didn't have any expectation on that time. I really loved just to study and learn like how it works. It was all about like the efforts not having expectations of okay, when will I start to earn, when will I start like to get the job that I'm dreaming for. But yeah, for several years after that I started continuing learning, and in 2016 or late 2015, I got my first certification. It was 70-410, I guess. The
domain controller, Active Directory. I remember that one.
Windows 2012. Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm glad that I still remember the exam code. It's 70-410. Yeah. It was the exam code. And
Indeed.
oh my God, the award was mine. And in that day that I passed, I also passed, like, my score was around 780, something like that.
Okay.
It wasn't that much
Yeah.
high even, but because once you were getting certified on that time, you were called MCP, Microsoft Certified Professional.
Quite professional. Indeed.
Your first certificate was MCP, and then you had to pass 3 examinations in a row to be called
Indeed.
MCSA, Microsoft Certified
Right.
Solution Administrator.
Ah,
Yeah, service
indeed. Yeah.
administrator.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, and then Windows 2016 was on the market. It was growing. Also, many people organizations started to move out. So then, for that, you didn't have to pass all 3 exams again. Then, but you had to take an upgrade exam. It was 1 exam. Then you upgraded
Indeed.
2016, and
That's
then
the fourth one. That is the fourth one, if I remember good.
then you get upgraded to 2016, but you get a second MCSA certificate for
Yeah.
Windows Server 2016. And then it was like origination of again falling in love with Microsoft certification. And then I realized there is something called Microsoft Community that I again fell in love with stuff like that. And then I started getting into community. And that time it was Microsoft TechNet, PowerShell Gallery.
TechNet, indeed, TechNet. That is retired now, indeed.
Exactly. And after I got my second certificate, I started training in the city I was living and I was working in, and started training students in institutions. And it was around the year that I did those trainings. And after that, in February 2017, I got my MCT. So I became MCT. So once I applied to Microsoft, we also shared those training history. And then I got certified, and I was just again on the cloud. So like,
Indeed.
And then another. I mean, with each step, it was like another great door opened for me with Microsoft. So with MCT, I started connecting with professionals all over the world. I got access to materials and like books, PDF, presentation files that Microsoft was sharing with us, and it's still like in the download center we have access to. And then I started teaching students, professionals, organizations with those materials provided by Microsoft. And around 2018, I moved to another country and started working. And then on with that, after MCT, with all the community activities, also started in TechNet, answering questions, writing blogs, putting PowerShell scripts in PowerShell Gallery, just sharing. I really loved it. Connecting people, talking, share, write blogs, articles, just connect to any communities.
Nice.
Then I got nominated for MVP award on February 2019 or March 2019. And then in December 2019, I got my first MVP award because of the community.
What is your first MVP, mate? For what?
Cloud and data center management.
Cloud and data center management. Nice. I must share the same thoughts with you, and why I'm so reminding myself also, because I think a lot of people, or maybe from the new generations, let's call it like that, just to inspire them how tough it was. We didn't have the Windows Server at home to experience all the technical stuff, how that works, install a new role, install a domain controller. You need to find a job, and then on the job, if you have a test virtual machine, then you can play around. That was the challenge in the whole story. And basically in behind what basically I was doing the same, like you, reading the books, you're reading just the theory. You need to click tools, then add, then Active Directory, domain controller, and it's always some additional window that was not in the book, or troubleshooting. Troubleshooting was a nightmare, if I may say like that, when it comes to that, because not like now on the internet, whatever you paste there, it will pop up something that something happened. No, it was not the case. So it was a special category, monitor and troubleshooting, where they explained specifically by the IDs, ID codes, if I may say like that, where the people were, this error means that your password needs to be reset. The 00 something 832, it means it's broken relationship between the domain controller and your workstation. So I really, how to say, reflect myself in this struggle with you, because for me it was really similar. For me, 2000, I started from 2000 officially to certify myself from 2008, but 2008 and 2012 for me it's really not big difference, except the year, let's call it like that, because I think in 2008 Microsoft created the first foundation where they have a stable version, and 2012 was really small improvements to see, this version, it's a perfect, let's rock now with the other versions like 16, 19 now, and 2022 and 5. Nice. In the meantime, I forgot to ask, for example, once you became MCT, tell me what was your first, when you started with the cloud, because previously you were exploring, but when you went really deep in the cloud, mate, if I may ask you, when you became MCT or when you became MVP, if I may ask like that?
Learning cloud, it started before becoming MCT. So that together with learning and certifications with Windows Server, in parallel, I was also exploring what's happening, because the term cloud, I mean, personally for me and the companies, organizations I worked on that time, it was blurry. I mean, I knew, okay, there is a term, okay, it's on data center, it's not exactly on the clouds, how it operates, and in parallel, I was exploring, learning about Azure, regions, portal, and it was hard to also get access for some limitations.
And it was quite expensive, let's not forget on that, because it was a starting.
Exactly. Nowadays, there are a lot of opportunities, and there are tons of billions of unlimited of resources, and everyone can access. I know, like in some locations, there are access limitations and restrictions still, and this is exactly the goal of the communities that we are trying to help, with people who are really enthusiastic. They are motivated to learn and take it to the next level. And now we have people in the community that they're never missing a session, and not just training bootcamp sessions, but also speaking sessions. So that really reminds you of the times that you were learning, but you weren't able to find resource, or just at least having access to the portal just to see what's happening. That was my problem. I wasn't able to log in to see what is happening until I get the opportunity. The first time that I was able to get prepare for an Azure certification. And then
it was Azure Admin or Azure Fundamentals?
Fundamentals. The first one I got Azure Fundamentals, AZ900. And then, I still study Azure Fundamentals time to time. It's again shifting back to the fundamentals stuff.
Indeed.
Sometimes I study. I mean, even and it's really interesting. Every time it reminds you of something that you may forgot, or you may not. I mean, I personally sometimes like maybe having the problem of having the full comprehension of that resource, that service, the architecture, the system design, what's happening in and sometimes it takes some time. You need to get into hands-on experience, configure, and see the results.
Indeed.
And then, okay, now it works like that. Or wow, it was a problem, and now I know how to solve that. But and with that, then I started continuing with 104. Learning never ends. Just not just
for me, that one, it never stops. For me, it's every time when I need to remind myself. For example, depends on the project, gateways, firewall, I don't know, storage or VNets or anything, private network, whatever there. Every time I go back to try, for example, some lab for the AZ104, I agree AZ900, but for me it's more theory and I'm more technical, if I may call it like that, where I want to really, let's see what's happening here, how I protect, I create a firewall. If I may be honest, almost 20 years of experience. 3 months ago, I got some project from a friend of mine. He wanted to create Kubernetes with Azure firewall. I said, I have configured it 2 years ago, and I need to go back to see the ports basically and the roles that need to be configured because it's really a complex solution, the firewall itself. And in the AZ104, and of course the AZ900, if you need to explain, for example, that's a good one. But for the technical, you really need to be, go deep dive in the 104, where you will see, as you said, architecture, this, that, configure this, configure that, and so on and so on. Indeed.
Exactly. Yeah. With 104, you really get to understand the service itself and where it can benefit you, where you can put that resource and how to configure and how to see the big picture. And then sometimes there's the question, where should I start? I always share AZ900 doesn't matter what role you want to, just go AZ900. Just first understand what is subscription, what's what is the hierarchy, what's the platform, the definition of platform, not just private public cloud. You may know about it, but then after 104 you already know where to go. It's the magic that happens in there.
Indeed. And what was your first resource that you create? Virtual machine, application, service, or storage account?
Absolutely, virtual machine. I like
virtual machine. Okay, good one. Indeed, my perfect example for anyone. For example, if I want to check if the student, for example, as a trainer or somebody saying, "Okay, I know Azure admin, this and that," I'm always saying, "Can you please explain to me the 7 tabs in the Azure, for example, about which tab you can configure what?" And you can immediately notice if the person really learned the stuff or he just was clicking around, if I may say like that. Indeed. The VM, it's really indeed a nice experience where you go all through all of these services. Nice.
With VM also you learn because once you have more responsibilities with infrastructure. I'm trying not to go deep technical
no problem. Don't worry.
But once you have the full responsibility with an IaaS service, infrastructure as a service, and then it also helps to learn more about the different kind of configurations. So you get to know storage, disk, NSG, network, IP, NIC, and all of them you need to take care of. And with that whole responsibility of this infrastructure comes the knowledge and experience you learn. But yeah, as I said, like if you go click on it, this is okay.
Yeah, indeed. That's true. After Azure 900, Azure 104, the admin one, is it the next one developer, architect, or DevOps?
After 104?
Yeah.
This is exactly the once the question comes. Like after 104, I always share. Then now it's the time reflect to your background, what you studied, what you've been doing, what you were working on. Are you a developer? Are you like security specialist? Are you network engineer or architect or infrastructure automation DevOps? Because after that you have those roles with Azure. You can follow each of them separately, but the recommendation is just not to mix all of them, like studying like a network security like at the same time. I always share like start with one and feel that you are confident enough that you can take the next step, because with 104 you already get to know the basics.
Azure's, indeed.
Resources. I mean, not in AZ900 it's basic, but with AZ104 you are becoming an administrator of an environment with the resources in a broad range of category within Azure. And once you know it, how to the main thing also here, Martin, is important. Like sometimes I've also realized it from some of the students or sometimes in workplaces. The problem is that we always try to memorize the code. We try to memorize the resource name. Let's memorize everything. It's after some time it becomes impossible. There are billions of unlimited stuff. We cannot put everything in the mind, and we need to focus once in a time. But
Indeed.
knowing the solution, that where you need to connect the dots, that is the most important. So there are like different kind of load balancers, and that at some step point they overlap with each other. But once you know the solution, and there are like SSL bypass, or they have like these kind of like different kind of application layer features, you just can search for it. Searching is not a problem. If you are not using AI today, that is the problem. So you need to research, ask, but the solution. You are not going to do trial and error. Just ask, what is the resource here? What can I put together? How can I connect it? You know the solution. You know the best practice. Again, if you don't know, it's the first time, or if you just worked once or twice, it's again totally fine. Just go and research. And with that
Indeed.
research, we again gain new experience. But yeah, going back to your question, I guess the background and what we love to pursue, there is that, again, the magic happens, that which we have to follow after 104, because you touch the resources, you know
Indeed.
which one you love the most to continue with.
True. So I'm asking very often the question, what do you want now? What do you want to be when you will grow up after AZ104? Because basically that's the decision maker, in my view, after what AZ, as you said, AZ104, and I completely agree with you. You explore, you see most of the resources. Now, what you want to really focus on: security, developer, architect, DevOps, maybe hybrid Windows Server. You still work in a company where they have on-prem solution. Basically, it was AZ800 and 801, the certificate. So the people really, after this AZ104, they really need to think about I want to go on this university, on that university, or something like that, basically. And what I really like, maybe it's good to mention, because both of us are working with Microsoft and all the stuff and what I really like, I must be honest, when I usually share with the people, you go to MS Learn and you just press search. That's the only thing. Even virtual machine, even storage account, even firewall, you have a tutorial, step-by-step, theoretical, practical, where you see also screenshots, big screenshots, where you can easily, hey, I'm familiar with this screenshot. I saw that today at work, and I can explore now. Oh, this was a firewall, this was a storage, this was a virtual machine, and so on and so on. Indeed.
Exactly.
Indeed. Nice. Tell me, what is your current role, if I may ask you?
Of course. I work as our roles overlap sometimes,
Indeed.
We do the architecture, solution architecture, but in general, I call it solution architecture. I'm currently working with IKEA, and based in the Netherlands. Actually working
as a solution architect, basically. Tell me, what was the challenge as a solution architect? For example, to become a solution architect, we know there is a certificate, but let's be completely honest. To become a solution architect, either you have seen a bunch of stuff, either you have not seen a bunch of stuff, and you're confused when somebody will say, I'm solution architect, and you need to recommend solution. Basically, that's the main job, if I may call it like that, to the solution and improve the solution. What was the biggest challenge, if I may say like that, if it came to your mind, something in the last couple of years in your experience as a solution architect, let's call it like that, mate?
Putting together the needs and the communication with stakeholders, when it comes translating the needs of one party to another, and this party to another. Again, you know the solution. You are the technology expert. You
Indeed.
know the dots, how they're to connect. But what exactly is going to happen? And sometimes you put it on the paper, it's ready, you represent, this is how it looks like, this is how it's going. Again, there are something that might, one party might not be able to explain clearly. Then again,
Indeed.
So either the whole thing changes, or you need to change some part of it, the solution to make it acceptable for both parties.
Indeed, and it's always challenge, as you said, the stakeholders, capability owners, whatever is there. I
Yeah.
mean, it's still sometimes it's really tough with the human factor where you need to align, as you said, either two sides, three sides, four sides tomorrow. We don't know what can happen. Maybe as a summary, I would say, yeah, the solution architect need to align all of this because you as a solution architect, it's your responsibility, let's be honest, you need to align this solution whatever is there, what you want to build, that the developers, DevOps, testers, product owners, or whatever we need for the project. It's really tough sometimes, indeed, this human factor. Well, but I think it's good, how to say, lesson learned, because sometimes either we need to explain more but usually we need to explain more, if I may say like that. Yeah, but why we need this, Hamid? We have applications. Or, yeah, but this is as a zone redundancy for the solution if this happened or that happened or something like that, which is sometimes it's really tricky and challenging
So
for that.
totally agree with you. I mean, by the time, especially nowadays, I can share this experience. It's really interesting, and I was sometimes you talk with colleagues, friends in the same industry, and you realize this is exactly like tell me also your experience. Now I'm going to share.
Yeah,
Nowadays, it's not 100% technical things you are doing comparing to the 5 or 10 years ago. Now, the only thing I was learning, like comparing to the 2 to 3 years, is to listen more, to learn how to listen and think simpler comparing to again 5 to 7 or 10 years ago. I was always like thinking progressively. Oh my God, technology! We can let's put a script here. Let's put one script here. Let's use Python. Oh man, this is or this is so. And then you realize, then you're just going deep and deep and deep, and you're always keeping
indeed.
your hands dirty. You are the technical. I love being technical. I still love to do some of this stuff let me create this, connect GitHub to Azure. Let me write the bicep here. I love doing that.
Indeed.
And
In,
sometimes when you go deep and deep, then you are getting away from the solution. Then you just specific on one point. And now
indeed.
the only thing I just learned during these 2 to 3 years is just yeah, like that, like putting my hand like you just listen, and then like thinking simply like okay. Like you listen and then you take note. Okay, we can use that here. We can use that here. Then we know
Indeed.
the picture. Then just reimagine it, and then
Indeed.
you'll have the final version.
That is also, I must mention here, basically, I completely agree on everything that you said. I must say that it's really tough sometimes also on the project, that in any company there is a project. It's a big alignment with the people, communication, emails, this, that, meetings, la, la, la. And I completely agree. Sometimes I'm the same, jump in, just, hey, time out. Let me tell you, I'm now, the guy that need to explain
Yeah.
that. I completely agree that sometimes, yeah, usually you just need to come down and listen what the other parties need to say and then say, I agree, I disagree. So I agree because of that, I disagree because of that. Simple as that, without complex approach or anything. But indeed, it's a really tough with and challenging with the human factor currently and aligning, because 10 people in the meetings, if everyone starts talking, basically that meeting it's endless, if I may say like that, and we will not have any conclusion, which it's happening, let's be honest, everywhere it's happening the same. By the way, a couple of friends of mine in the Scandinavian countries, also in Europe, some others, basically whatever they work on projects or any type of change in the company, this alignment, it's really sometimes it's nice lesson learned, as you said. Yeah, you learned that you need to listen more now, but there is a people that are really stubborn. I must share that experience. You are explaining to them it will cost the company more money, we need to rethink the solution, we need to do this and that. No, we want this, that's it. But why do you want this? Because somebody shared on the internet, somebody said, some other company have it. No, we want this.
Yeah.
No explanation, which is really tough for convincing, if I may say like that, and it's really tricky sometimes. But that's the industry that we are, and it's really tough sometimes. Indeed,
That's the
indeed.
correct challenge, exactly. Like keeping the conversation simple, and quickly trying to find out from those conversations, like what's the need, what's the point, and then once you catch it, okay, now I know, let's just continue on one line, let's not mix all of it. That's why, like, one of the also reasons that if like I also have something to share, just first I'm trying to just keep it like to just to listen, and then because once you share, someone share, okay, now okay,
Indeed.
okay, meeting finished, several hours we are here, okay, let's go home, guys, have a nice evening.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. It's not less question, but we're almost 1 hour talking. But I must ask you, how is going on the from zero to hero? I must ask you, how is
It's
going there? You have a lot of sessions? I saw that a lot of speakers, a lot of tech sessions, if I may say, which are really very often useful. Also for me, you know, sometimes really just press play and watch that. Again, for the people that wants to join, feel free, guys. You can find the link either on LinkedIn. You can search for either me, Hamid. You can find us in this Learn Expert group from Microsoft, and you can join to the any community, if I may say like that. What is the next speakers for the from zero to hero?
We have an exciting calendar for November. It's a woman calendar. We've invited professionals from all over the world. They are amazing people. I always follow them on LinkedIn. We already published the calendar. We every month on 15th of each month we publish a new calendar. For November we have exciting. We're looking forward. We got a lot of amazing feedback, not just from the community, from Microsoft Learn, from different communities. That this is an exciting calendar. And regarding the community itself, this is the team spirit I really love. Together with Said and Mohsen, we are located in different parts of the world, and still we are cooperating. And we are, I mean, in the back end, you know, it's not just creating the link and launching the session. You know, like even for this session, we were talking for some time. Like
alignment.
Aligning the times. Okay, it was because everyone, and especially the speakers that we are also inviting, all of them are professionals and like busy. Like we had people all from Microsoft, from like consultant professionals with experiences, many years of experience, and it's really hard to align the time. And once we are trying to also find a time zone that people from all over the world can join live. It's possible to watch the recording, but if you have a question live in there, it feels like good. Like you can just ask
indeed.
Yeah, and I really truly appreciate the effort and the team spirit. Yeah, as mentioned, together with Said, and it's not just yeah, I love it.
You're doing great job, mate. I must be honest with you. I'm planning to ping Said. If he's watching, I will ping him separately for December. I really want to hear. I think he is in the Scandinavian part, if I remember good, or what I saw on his LinkedIn. I'm not sure about that. We will not share now where he is and so on and so on.
I'm not going to spoil.
Indeed. I'm planning for December him, but I will ping him separately. For the community, when it comes to the community, do you, before you choose the speaker, if I may call it like that, do you focus on specific topic, mate? Or do you just want, for example, open my LinkedIn, this guy is doing something in Azure, let me ping him. Or, for example, I'm asking this because, for example, I see people joining on different sessions where sometimes, they join, but they will get in mid of the session and they, this is about Azure, this is about Fabric, this is about Office 365, this is about this and that. I want to say, is it specifically how to do this, for example, as a project a little bit, maybe to initial additional idea for you, maybe as a future like a bootcamp, or is just, Martin knows about Azure, let him present about Azure, this and that?
In the early days of community, it was like that. So we wanted to have speakers from any technology category. Specifically, we first started with Azure. So we always hosted Azure professionals with their experiences. But we had some filterings on the topic. So we tried like starting with fundamentals and then like with the different levels. And we had even speakers that we hosted them for several times in the community until now. But then we realized that we have a backlog of call for speaker sessions that we cannot manage anymore. So we had to turn it off. So now our CFS call for speaker page, we turned it off until end of the year, because we still have a backlog of speakers that they're amazing speakers that we are planning for 2025. So that because we never missed a Saturday. So every Saturday we have the session, and then we open Tuesdays, and then we opened also Thursdays. So every week we had 3 sessions, and now we have Saturdays again. We are never missing Saturdays, and then we have Tuesday sessions. But now we have some filters on the sessions, and just trying to make sure that it is aligned with the motivation and the needs of the community and market. Like, like Copilot AI services, it's the Microsoft in the lead in the market. So we ourselves, together with Saeed and Mohsen, we also held sessions called Copilot Azure AI sessions, and also training boot camps for AI 900 and other Azure AI services. But it's exciting. I love the network that we've made through these years.
Nice. How tough is for organizing all that stuff? Must ask you. 3 sessions per week, mate. For me, this one, it was really tough. Going in the office sometimes, coming back, tired, all that in front of the screen. Is it, how to say, I suppose as for me, it's a motivational because you want to really bring the value back. But really 3 sessions per week, I think we will agree it's a little bit tough. Less time for gaming. Less time for gaming. Sorry about this, but less time for gaming, mate.
Absolutely. That's why we stopped with Thursdays, because the reason for Thursday sessions was it was AI challenges that started with May and June. In May and June, there was an Azure AI challenge that started. So we started having extra days in a week, which was Thursday and also Tuesdays, if I'm not sure, because previously we always had just one session per week. It was Saturdays. Indeed. And then we moved Thursday, and we were talking with Saeed and Mohsen, like, guys, we are even skipping our meal time sometimes. let's just focus, because it's not just again launching a session. We need to arrange, as you mentioned, like alignment. Okay, now we have the list of speakers. Let's create the links for them. Let's share the invitation links. Then let's share the template. Let's prepare the banners, like full banners, and each banner, like the StreamYard that we are in, create StreamYard links. And oh my god, but yeah, it's all like we really love to do, and we loved like doing all this process, and it's still happening. And like good news, like we are planning to have in-person sessions, like Zero to Hero in-person sessions, maybe crossing fingers for next year, if not but yes, soon. Amazing stuff. Yeah, we had the backyard. We launched Microsoft Backyard that we are inviting people like these sessions, not talking technical, so they can share their success stories, like people from Microsoft. Managers, product owners, just sharing their experience of how a day of their work look like. So people can also benefit from that, like those tips also affects, like again, like it's not 100% technical in a day or during the day. It's also like the communication, like how you manage to keep yourself happy, motivated. Because if like on 8 hours a day, like if you do code, it's won't go well.
And it rings the bell to my mind, I must be honest, because I was thinking, and I'm always, after one quarter, I must share one tip. Maybe it will be useful also for the people that watching, but also maybe for you, or maybe you're doing. I'm making a recap for my quarter, if I may say like that. Usually every 1 week ago, something like that, I was doing reviewing or recap for the summer, for example, how it went quarter number 3, if I may say like that, what I have achieved, and preparing for quarter number 4, something like that. It's not that I'm some business person now and you have a lot of meetings, but sometimes I want, also as a recap, what new I want to learn somehow. For me, it keeps really live this to learn new stuff, Copilot, AI. I must be honest, 6-7 months ago, I never touched in my life Ansible. Never, but never, never, never. In 20 years of IT experience, never, if you believe me, mate. I open it to see what is Ansible, what is working, how it's working, and this and that, which I think how we grow. I wanted to say how we grow as a seniority, let's call it like that, when you are a senior and this and that. I think it's more helping to us these tips and tricks. For example, this I'm watching a lot of productivity things, and yeah, for productivity you need to organize by project. Maybe it's easier by time. What is priority? What is not? But in summary, I want to say, as you said, with these experienced people from Microsoft, you will get from this one small tip. It really means sometimes, where you will benefit of it, if I may call it like that.
Absolutely, indeed. I totally agree. Very well said, Martin. I mean, it's exactly like in a daily basis, like we all have we all have these plannings, right? Like sprint
Indeed.
is running, we need to finish stories, issues, epics, and all of them. But as you said, I mean, we should also have it for our private life. Like you have those quarterly planning, like
Indeed.
your private sprint. What is your private sprint that is running?
Indeed.
Like you can put like well-being stories in your planning, like several days a week, or just at least once a week. Like I don't know, just trying to keep yourself like health.
Indeed.
Health is like a big topic. Like how we should, like many organizations now, they're trying to keep their employees.
And I must share, I'm happy that you agree on all of that, but it came to my idea, to be honest, completely now, and maybe I will share with the audience and with you also, maybe it will help. After COVID, I must be honest, I was using Azure DevOps. I was working at that period as a DevOps engineer. Pipelines. Every week we have every day we have a stand-up, every month refinement, retro, this and that. And I really like what you aligned. Yeah, let me align my life in some type of a sprint. Yeah, this Monday I'm going in a gym. This Tuesday I'm going there. This Wednesday I'm going there. Some type of organization. I know it sounds like we now productivity masters, if I may say like that. But I think because why I'm saying we usually this, I saw people buying licenses for some productivity tool. But if they're Microsoft, Azure DevOps, it's free, by the way, for those who don't never open it or don't know. It's really just create an account and you can create your sprint, your epic. Epic, it's my goal, by the way, for achievement of the year, like in the project, but just for my private life, let's call it like that. So paper and that I can, if I may say like that, it's really helpful because if you're working in that, it's opened the same window all day. You just need to switch the project. Basically, my private life, something, and you will see everything in your. Also, there is a calendar in the Azure DevOps, so you can use the calendar on Teams. You can connect the DevOps with the Teams, and we are using all the tools. If I may be honest, for those who work Microsoft, I think Microsoft Teams is basically. How to say wake up application, let's call it like that. You open the computer, the first thing it's Teams, I think, for most of us.
Exactly.
Also
Exactly.
Nice.
Okay.
Indeed we are talking really more than an hour. Wow, nice.
Yes, we can talk till morning. I mean, it's a never-ending great conversation. I love it.
You're not at work tomorrow, or you are?
I'm working. Yes,
Yeah, indeed. I think we can talk till tomorrow, as you said. I completely agree. But I think we will continue. I have another idea, maybe later in January, February. I really want to see you both with Said. Basically, I want to invite him first in December, if he have a time, of course, if he don't have any other thing, because I saw last time he was in Scotland on the Scottish Summit, if I saw good on his LinkedIn. So maybe basically in January, February, I will invite you, both of you, just to merge the story and all that stuff. What is your, I must be honest, and I ask also Elkan, but I want to ask you, what is your how to say, on the new people, because why I'm asking this question also, I will tell you the story. A lot of students I have gone through this the last couple of years, if I may be honest, as a trainer, also some type of a mentorship or whatever there. The people, what the comments are coming from the people, and we are all aware that the resources are on the internet. They just need to, even on the phone, if they Google it, they will see something. Where they need to start, if I may say. What is your takeaway? If I send you back 2012, for example, if I need to go back in 2012, the young Hamid, if I may say, the younger, where Hamid will start? What will you, for example, in our era was the books, but now it's completely, everything is digitalized, even the books are PDF, there's a tablet, this and that, la, la, la. What is your starting point? If I go back now, imagine 2020, 2012, with the same that we have now, AI, internet, computers, laptops, and all that stuff. Where Hamid will go and start?
Now we have a good problem. We have this good problem. We have an amazing problem. Actually, this is an amazing problem that we have unlimited amount of data on the internet that you can benefit from. Just catch one and just continue. I mean, I'm mentoring on a mentorship website, so it's on my LinkedIn and Instagram. There people are, so I'm happy to help. It's totally free, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Either students, fresh graduates, that many professionals, they also have like these questions, like which source should I choose? I mean, like personally, again, like you asked me if I go back like 2012, it was also like that. So there's no difference. There are billions of data. Just start with one, because the goal of all of them are the same. They're teaching you one technology, one service, let's say Azure in this case. But the experience between people are different. So I experience in a different way, you experience in a different way. I write a blog about the same technology in my way. You write about the same technology, let's say virtual machine, in your way. Maybe you configure another way, I configure another. But again, it's the virtual machine. But the only thing I would share just doesn't matter. Just start learning, and do not also satisfy with one resource. Learn with like YouTube, Microsoft Learn, forums, research. Just research until you just have the full confidence that you're fully understanding what's happening on that learning path, on that with that specific thing that you want to achieve. And again, it's I read it in a book. Like, just create the identity for yourself, and always see it like on top of your head, and just aim for that. With that, you will already create the system for yourself. It's the learning system. So again, doesn't matter. I always share, like, make Microsoft Learn your homepage, because it has amazing amount of free trainings. You can do practice tests. You can do like free apply the skills. Like, it's on demand. You can just touch the environment. There are sandboxes with learning materials, with modules. That is because of it. But again, learn in parallel with different platforms as well. Like there are, again, billions of free materials. People, amazing professionals and people in the community, they are sharing free materials, their experiences. Try to learn, but not different technologies at the same time, but learn the same technology with different materials, with different experience.
Indeed, I agree, and I can connect here to you. Just I will add my experience. For example, the last 3 years, previously I was using most of the time Spotify for music for that. But now what I'm doing, 3 months or 4 months, I'm using Spotify Premium. After that, now I'm already 7-8 months with YouTube. Just what you said, basically, whatever I search, I get some video with some explanation. For example, sometimes even in the tram, in the bus, on the bicycle here in this country, as we are both in the same, basically, you just, open on the phone, and the person is really, you're listening, enjoying, you don't need even to open the book, or where the mobile is with you, either tablet or whatever. So maybe it's a good takeaway. I really like it. Basically, that maybe YouTube also, it's a good channel for distributing, in this case, if I may call it like that, because for me, switching from one channel to another, because we are listening music, let's be honest, all of us. So now you can just search for something. Even now the recipes for at home, making dinner, lunch, breakfast, everything you
Absolutely.
can buy. Indeed. So the people, indeed, I completely fully agree with you that they can switch basically also the teacher or the mentor or whatever they're, either it's Hamid today, either, let's see Martin, how he explains. Maybe Hamid is more simple or something like that, so they can experience the touch point or the views, different views from two different people. Let's call it like that. Nice. I really like it. Indeed. November, it's really tough. I know we are live, that's all clear. I will ping you for sure to drink a beer or coffee or tea or whatever. I have a lot of session and also trainings coming period, but I will ping you, I think, beginning of December, something, I think, end of November, and we will see each other in person. I really thank you, mate. I really appreciate. Have a nice rest of the evening. Have a nice day tomorrow at work without a lot of meetings, I hope. And we will stay in touch and see each other.
Thanks for having me, and looking forward to it. Have a nice evening.
Indeed. See you, mate. Let me see.